All right. Shalom Yashala. Call Halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Waharakah Kodash Barakathum. I like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the select number of Akim pushing his truth and sincerity in four corners of the round earth. And salutations to the select number of Aqua that are listening. Well, what I have here on the screen is this proposal, this pledge from Goldman Sachs, which is a bank, and then also just the history of them, because they're big on the market, right? Goldman Sachs, which also many years ago, when the Obama, well, pretty much this is Obama administration part two, really with Biden, just an extension, but these guys were bailed out amongst the other banks, when the economy had crashed around 08, 09, when Obama was getting into office. Okay, there was no pledge to help the so-called black woman, the so-called black man, so on and so forth, any one of those tribes. But now this is on CNBC's news site, so you Akim and Aqua that can go read it for yourselves as well. Goldman Sachs pledges $10 billion to support advancement of black women. Goldman Sachs is pledging $10 billion over 10 years to advance racial equity and economic opportunity for black women. Now, this is really just nothing more than a ploy just to really just continue for things to be out of order, man. Our women already bought into the feminist agenda. You could look up the specifics of when they came out with the job force. Well, yeah, with the workforce. They actually wrote a book about it. I believe it was in '94 on the workforce, on how the so-called black woman Eve, she was hired for particular positions that the so-called black man would be qualified for, but put in those positions. Because Jake, when they when Jake so-called got their thing together, man, that's a threat to the so-called white man. When Jake don't, when he comes in there, and just has a demeanor of, look, I ain't here to play no games. I'm just here to work. That's very, that Esau takes offense to that. But as we all know, in order to somewhat tear down somewhat of a community or separate them, you're going to elevate what? You're going to elevate the woman. You're going to do away with the man. You could look at how the so-called black community looks now with that. Oh, y'all don't need no women. The government. Because when you look at Goldman Sachs history, it's people who used to work for Goldman Sachs. Where did they go after that? They go to the government. So this is well documented. This is any type of, you can go to any outlet and you'll get the history on Goldman Sachs. I'll read Jeremiah 31 verse 22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? And this is talking about the nation of Israel. Okay, but it's also twofold, because it goes into that in the next line. For Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. How's that? How should she compass a man? Well, they'll go about. They'll go. When you look up that word compass, it's like to go around about, to change, to transform. To the way of this world, so that natural order is going to be completely off. Because you've seen it. They don't need no man. So they say. The feminist movement are our women had taken a hold of that, which didn't even, concern them. But it was just once again, just another ploy just to further separate, the so-called black man from the so-called black woman, you know, Salakia. But it's also but it's prophesied, that's why we read from the scriptures, to tell before it happens, because this is a new thing in the earth, you know, because anytime you any how to state this, anytime you want some advancement, you usually go what to a man, because the man creates what he creates everything, man. He creates everything, the power structure. Even though we're in captivity, the so-called white man has been in charge. Any civilization that you've seen, the so-called white man is, I mean, it's like not so-called white man, but the man has been in charge. But only is it in the so-called black community, it's not that way, you know. But that's also, a curse. Bear with me, Bible Shah. What do I want to get? Oh yeah, Job. Oh, is that go to right there? This is Job 20, verse 10. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. And this is what Esau is doing, man. He's seeking to please the poor, which that is, the nation of Israel. You so-called Negroes, you so-called Jamaicans, you so-called Haitians, you so-called Puerto Ricans, you so-called Native Americans, you so-called Uruguayans, you so-called Latinos. Okay, this is really a plan just to further divide the families, man. But it's played its part, and they've succeeded. You look at pledges such as this. You look at other programs that dedicate that dedicate or target the so-called black woman. It's always interestingly enough, it's always the absence of the so-called black man, because that's the way they intended it, for it to be. Because the first way you kill any type of so-called strong family ties or bonds, what you do away with the man. And that's what's been done right before our eyes. And historically, it's been written about, it's been spoken about, and first and foremost, it's been prophesied about. That's why, we read from the scriptures, I'll reread verse 10 again. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. But, we here at GMS and brothers who teach the same doctrine alike, we know there's nothing that Esau can restore for us, man. And some of our women, of course, gonna run, crazy with this. Well, hey, they doing this, they doing that. This is very a very evident way of keeping the people pacified as well, if I could say that. This is doing nothing more than pacifying Eve to, because where was Goldman and Sachs in years past, man, to help out Jake, to help out the so-called black woman, but they doing what the devil would do, though, man. People see this as a equitable thing, or it's a nice thing. Nah, man, the devil doing what the devil's gonna do. Okay. Matter of fact, I'll continue reading. Bear with me, Baba Koshai. Verse 11. His bones are full of sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. Okay. So that's Edom, these Edomites who's grinning in Eve's face, and some of you Jake's face, man. Were little devils when they were learning the ways from their father, and they're gonna die old devils, man. Because this America's broke first and foremost, man. You know, it's pretty, very, very interesting how it's so called so difficult to pass all these bills, but here it is, 10 billion pops up, 750 billion pops up for war, you know, and this the and also interestingly enough, people's lives got destroyed, through from the the pandemic, and and it and these niggas had the nerve just to send out the third stimulus just got passed last week, okay, or Salakia this week. Sleepy Joe just signed on that, man. So he just signed the third stimulus. So with the total of what's that? I think 3,000 in a year. Now just think about that. Oh, so Salakia, my math is off. Uh, 3,200. And bro, let's be honest, bro. Some people gross that in a month, bro. So basically, Esau is a trip, man, and a devil, man. You basically are showing what you think of the so-called American people, especially Jake, because not even on a medical or medical disparity, which we know that is huge in this country. That's how very little they think of the people, man. So that 10 billion, man, they just, they just trying to, you know, they not trying, they doing what the devil will do, man. But they basically showing you how much little respect they have for you, man. Especially the so-called black man. Okay. All 12 tribes, man. You so-called Latino men, you so-called Native American men. Okay. They always do this, because how did they get Gad a lot of times when the men were out hunting and handling their business? They come in and slaughter the women, man. And this is the same thing. This is nothing more than waving that that shiny piece of jewelry, man. That brightness, you know. Verse 13. Though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth. You know, Esau's not slick, man. They appear as if though they care, but it's clear, it's evident they don't care, man. Jake out here trying to ask for, reparations. Esau talking about, well, we'll study it, bro. All you got to do is study the history and the disparity between Jake and Esau, man. Every immigrant that came over here and has compassed compassed Jake Winter Bow and did their thing and surpassed Jake, but Jake sit here and built this country up, from all, the 12 tribes. We built the country up, and you telling me Elam and Ishmael and Moab, they're more worthy of a bank loan. But we understand, because this is the curses, man. These are the curses, I shall say. Salakia. These are the curses. And it's very evident, And Salaki, I got caught in mid thought, but what I was saying about that 3,200, just look at it. The anniversary, I believe, has just passed for the, when they started like the lockdown, right? And they think very little of you just to basically give you a month's net of what you potentially earn. What, 3,200 is somewhere like $18 an hour, if I'm not mistaken, if my math's not off. Anywhere from 17. Yeah, anywhere from 17 to $19 an hour. I'll say that. So I'll say $16. Anywhere from $16 to $18 an hour. These niggas thought that thought that much of you to give you a month's salary. Okay. Oh, here's 3,200. Stretch that for the rest, for the rest of the time being. 3,200, you know? So, of course, I call BS on this, but our women won't see it as that, they see it as, a stepping stone. And hey, Esau's horns are definitely about to show even more. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, And who are those wise men? The Israelite men, okay? The men of the Lord, okay? I'll continue reading. And a gift destroyeth the heart. This so-called gift is gonna blow Eve's head up even more, you know? And now we're really seeing the aftermath of the so-called independent movement, the so-called feminist movement that's wreaked havoc in the so-called black community, man. Now these women got all these degrees, and now they looking crazy as hell when they calling Kevin Samuel show, or they're going to national television shows talking about how it's so hard to find a husband, you know? Well, hey, a big component to that is who? Esau. The government. They told you you don't need a man. They told you can do it all by yourself, and as you see the results now women are talking about they're being Salaki, they're being very hypocritical. Okay, they're talking about how patriarchy needs to be done away with, but here at the same time they'll turn back around and say, well, women need to be provided for and protected. We need protection and provision. But what what happened to the patriarch? I thought the patriarch was bad. You know, because the matriarchal the matriarch has proven itself to be very detrimental to the so-called black community, man. It has been very detrimental to the so-called black community. We see it all around us. The as I like to say, the modern woman wants archaic treatment, and it just doesn't mix. You know, Esau has put Esau, the Lord, first and foremost, the Most High has put that spirit on Esau to divide us. And then also when you go back to Genesis, man, Eve and the serpent, don't forget, man, this is nothing more than Eve and the serpent, man. You know, that's all I have on this. Abaratazah, it was edifying for the Akim and Akwath out there. Once again, call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Wahar Kodash Barakathum. Once again, I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutations to the select number of Akim pushing his truth and sincerity around the four corners of around Earth. And also, I'd like to give salutations to the select number of Aqua that they're listening. Shalom.